Good evening. This is Cole Barrett with Auto Excel here. Just wanted to start episode 2 of this podcast here with the guys. We're a man short today. We're without Jesse today, but we trek on. So I want to go ahead and start this podcast off by asking the guys some general questions. So we work from a company called EOS, and we start out every EOS meeting with a personal best and a professional best. Something that's going good in their lives as well as what's going on good at Auto Excel. So I'm going to work around the room, ask these two guys, and then I'll answer myself. Wes, get us started. What's a professional and personal best from today or just in general?
Yeah, so personal best, we could go with Thanksgiving's right around the corner.
There you go.
Everybody's coming down to Lexington, my whole family, so they're going to celebrate here, which is cool. And then professional best. Today was super busy, a lot of cars. Got some feedback from the stuff we did last week. Started seeing some more people. Sold some work, so it was a fire Monday, I think.
Heck yeah. Kevin, what about you? Give me a personal and professional.
The personal best is definitely the holidays. It's my first holiday, having a kid to be around with and stuff like that, so it's making it like a lot more enjoyable. And professional best, it was just busy today. It felt like the day went by smooth. Everything was going. We had work to do. It was really nice in comparison to how it's been the previous week.
Agreed. For sure. So my personal best is this past weekend, I got to take my son on his first ever true traditional hunt. We got to go squirrel hunting. Didn't get any squirrels. We got a couple raccoons, but still nonetheless, we got to enjoy time in God's creation, spend time as father and son. Professional best, I'm going to agree with these guys. We were super busy today. Me and Kevin had to rock out some inspections with Jesse being out, and we miss him for sure. He helped us smooth it out a little bit, but it was just awesome to see the guys working, see Kirby's growth, see Wes running it up front and just running it smoothly as possible, getting all those cars in, keeping the guys in the back busy as we can, I should say. So definitely looking forward to this next week. Started off this week a lot better than we did all of last, so I'm excited for the future for sure. So the next kind of thing I wanted to talk about, and Kevin mentioned it a little bit in our last podcast, of how the team all kind of connected. So this team is a very new team. Like I said in the last podcast, this is the best team Auto Excel's ever had, just from my experience here. And I want to kind of go over, how each one of us met in the room, and then talk about the guys and how they kind of joined, because it's always interesting to me to see how people connect and grow together. So I'm going to kind of leave Wes to his point of view on how he met us, and then I'll jump in with ours. So Wes, tell us about how you got connected with Auto Excel. It's probably the coolest story here, without a doubt.
All right, so let's go back, turn the page, maybe 2 years from now. So my aunt was actually coaching a basketball team in Lexington, and ironically enough, Mike's daughter, your sister, played for him. And on a whim one day, my aunt mentioned something to me about it, and she was like, "Hey, I think you should talk to Mike or go, see the shop and do the things." And so I got Mike's number from her. I think I texted him, and looking back, I was super nervous because he was like, okay, all right, we'll just meet there or whatever, and come to the shop. He wouldn't text me back for hours on end, and I was like, man, is this some podunk place? I don't know I didn't know what to expect really. And
good first impression, Dad.
Yeah. And so I went to the game. I was super nervous. Sat down with Mike and Barry, who was actually our EOS implementer. So met both of them day one, and Cole, and I guess probably basically the family.
I think everybody was there.
Yeah.
Nana, Papa, everybody was there.
Yeah, it was the whole clan. Talked with. I was a part of a conversation with Mike, Barry, and myself for quite some time, and we talked a little bit about the shop, and we, talked about cars, and we had similar interests, and I thought they were super cool, and he was like, yeah, come check out the shop, we'd love to have you, blah, blah, blah. And I chatted with Cole briefly there too, and he was kind of like, hey, my uncles are crazy, I run the shop, we'll get you down here, we'll figure out a plan. And so, fast forward maybe 6 months or so, I'm still in talks with Mike. I come down and do a shop tour type thing. I liked it. Seemed like a pretty cool gig. I hung out here for like a morning or like half a day or something. I don't remember.
You spent most of the day shadowing me, I would say.
Yeah.
And then you kind of shadowed in the back because you weren't sure which avenue you wanted to kind of join the team in.
Yeah, and then, from there, probably like 2 or 3 months later after that, I was like, all right, I'm going to move down there and I'm going to come work. And we set up a start date, and the rest is history.
Yeah, that's for sure.
That wraps it up, I think.
That's about as good as you could say it, other than he left out a couple key components about his conversation with Barry and Mike, where he said it best. He was a part of a conversation. He really didn't talk much. And then at the end, and then I introduced. I was like, if you need something with a little less intensity, and you just text me. And then that's about it. And shadow me for a day, and we're obviously blessed to have him. Like, he's been one of the best, if not the best. Big impact in my life as well. So love having him. Next is Kevin, and so I'll run down kind of how we got in contact. I'll let him finish the story of his perspective as well. So Kevin, I learned about him from a company called Auto Shop Recruiting, who goes through different recruiting avenues, locates top-notch people, gets us contacted with them, go ahead and sets up a meeting with me. I don't even do anything. All I have to just say is, okay, what time and when, or what time and where. And Kevin was one of the first names that really got sent through them, I'd say. And come in, long black hair. He's got the longest hair, well, not anymore, of anybody that works here. And the first interview went really well. Then we always do what's called a team interview, which everybody comes in and meets with him. As soon as everybody got done, he was a check immediately. We were just telling Matthew earlier, Kirby, about how he came in, and his training day, or I guess working day, was the very first Monday after Jesse had his vacation. So we had nobody doing inspections, and Kevin was running the inspection rack, and he didn't even technically work for Auto Excel yet, and he freaking killed it. And so at the end of the day, I'll let him tell his part, but at the end of the day, I literally just looked up and said, you just want to stay, just stay and I'll pay you. And he agreed to it, and he came in Tuesday, and now here we are. He's running the inspection rack, killing it, on his way to becoming a full-time technician. In February, we're looking to get him transitioned over to that, if not sooner. So looking once that team grows. So that's how I met Kevin. I'll let him finish his story.
Yeah, so I had just moved down here from Florida, and I was looking for jobs, and I had gone to a few places, but no place really stuck out to me that much. It was a lot of just smaller places or big dealerships that didn't really care. And one of the coolest things I thought about starting working here was the team interview. It was a little nerve-wracking at first coming into that environment and sitting down with 6 or 7 dudes all asking you questions. But after working here for a little bit, I think that's why our team works so well together, is because it's not one person's decision really on if we bring somebody in or not. But yeah, I came in for that training day, was doing inspections, rotating tires, changing oil, and then towards the end of the day, Cole was just like, do you want to stay? And I was like, yeah, that sounds great. I'll be back tomorrow.
Heck yeah.
That's a good story too.
Yeah.
Hey man, you like it? You want to stay? Yeah.
No 2 weeks needed. He just joined immediately.
Yep.
So that's the best. And then Jesse, and we'll get into how we met with Eric, who put us with Jesse. I didn't even know Jesse was coming in. And then this super tall, good-looking black guy comes in. He's like, I'm looking for a job. I'm like, who are you? Where have you heard from us? I don't even know who you are, but let's go ahead and do it. So he got in the room that we're doing this podcast in and asked him some questions. And then after asking him some questions, I learned that he worked with Eric, our top technician, at another facility. Eric gave him the information to get with Mike. And then, of course, I'm always the one that doesn't get the information but gets to talk to the guy. So Jesse had a unconventional team interview. So he's got a beautiful daughter, and he had to get back and take care of her, and that's why he's missing out today, is he's getting her taken care of on some things outside of here. But I was like, well, do you want to come back in tomorrow? We'll get breakfast, we'll get lunch, whatever you want to do. He's like, well, I can't tomorrow. I got this, and this. I'm like, all right, you want to go ahead and do it now? And he's like, his eyes got big. He's like, sure. So I stopped everybody from working in the back, and I said, all right, we got a team interview. no lunch today. Y'all ready? And he come back here, and everybody loved him, which he knew Eric. And then Dad was like, yeah, let's hire him. And he was like the next week, I want to say, or how many, like couple days. And he was coming in, working. He was running the inspection rack for a long time. And Jesse is truly like our comedian. Like, he brings so much joy into every day. He's so fun to work with. He does such a good job. He can take it, but also give it. Like, I just love having Jesse as a part of the team. So, and then we'll get into Brian, of course, is my uncle. He's been working here longer than any of us. In our intro video, we talk about how our business owner Mike started the company with his two brothers and his mother. He's one of those two brothers, and he is the best Mini Cooper technician known to man. He's one of the best technicians known to man. He does such a good job. He's a very detailed oriented guy, which can frustrate others, but is also a great thing for others. And he doesn't make mistakes, really. And so we're honored and blessed to have him a part of the team. I don't foresee him going anywhere. He does such a good job every single day. We just keeping everybody on track. He does a great job of that. John he just popped up. We talked about it a little bit on the recruiting app as well, and his name just popped up. He came on in, and I just asked him if he wanted a job, and he was a dealership technician and just wanted to get out in a different place. And we kind of took a couple days to get him in, talk with his wife, joined immediately. So that was pretty cool. And then Kirby, who just started, I'll let Wes tell this story from his perspective on how we got Kirby.
Yeah, I think this one's my favorite, if I'm being honest, because it's crazy.
Yeah, so, I mean, we knew we needed another person up front for a while, and we had actually a few interviews, even with, reliable sources that we didn't necessarily find anyone really we were super interested in. We had a few guys that we were like bouncing around on, and one day I think both of us were actually sitting at the front desk just
for
doing
once
work.
in forever.
I mean, how often are we both sitting there
rarely
doing busy work? And this cool kid comes in our age, and he's selling processing systems. So he's selling point of sale systems for the shop. He wants to know what kind of systems we're using, like what things we need, what things we want, what are our rates, classic like salesman. Man, he impressed me immediately. Just, he's real young, he has real good verbiage, and he seemed to know quite a bit about what he's doing. Come to find out, he was relatively green in that industry as well, but he had really good sales techniques, and he could make conversation quickly and was friendly. And I think near the end of the conversation, Cole kind of chimed in, was like, "Hey, are you looking for a job?" or something like that.
He was looking to get something done on his. He drove that BMW, so he's got a 2 Series BMW, and
this one like spiraled into two different things. Because we talked about his car, and then
So he connected with Wes immediately on the BMW side, because Wes is a BMW geek, and so is Kirby, and that started like, hey, we work on that. It's a number 3 vehicle we work on, yada yada. And then he continued on a sales pitch. I said, how about you come in? We'll knock 3 birds out 1 stone. We'll work on your car. You can present us with the card thing, and then I'm going to present you with a job. And he did.
And here we are.
Yeah, and here we are.
This is his 2nd week. Started off good. He's got a good attitude. He brought us donuts this morning.
Yeah. He was late, but he brought us donuts.
Cold when I got to him, but...
Because he didn't tell nobody he brought them.
We didn't know they were there till like 3 o'clock.
Because when he came in, I was like, man, where's the breakfast? Like, I didn't even know they had it. And then he was sitting on the table. I just happened to see Northline box donuts. I'm like, oh, there they are. And the text didn't know till 3 o'clock. Man, just stuff like that makes me laugh every single day.
Yeah, that story's crazy, though, about how, he came in to sell something and you guys just offered him a job like that. He's a really well-spoken guy, for sure.
Yeah, we're blessed to have him as well as a sales. Like, he's already so far into.
He's got so many ideas.
Man, like it's literally the simple thing of just understanding how cars work and the process at Auto Excel, and then he's going to be golden. Like, he's already got the firm roots of how to do the job. He just has to get some understanding of and he don't even really need that much of an understanding. He just needs to know the process, really.
Yeah.
Comes from a sales background, comes from a software engineering background.
Which is so helpful. That saves you a
Yeah.
lot of time, don't it? You're our software engineer now, ain't you?
We got an IT team now. It's
Yeah.
not just IT West anymore.
Yeah. And it never was IT West. Like, it might be West.
Yeah. And then, of course, Mike's the business owner. He's my father. He's connected 90% of this crew. Nana, she's my grandmother. She's been working here since day one, essentially. And then we'll get into Eric, how we met Eric. So we do this thing that's called Emmaus Walk. And I won't give up too much information because whoever's listening, get in contact with me. We'll get you on it. Kevin's going on it. Kirby's going on it. So I won't give too much away. But in between doing one of the events that we do at the Emmaus Walk, Eric had come up to me and just straight up asked me if we were looking for technicians. I didn't know how good of a technician he was. I didn't know anything about him. He was sitting at a table that I wasn't at. And he had gotten in contact with Dad's best friend, Eric Sternberg, on being a technician. Eric noticed Eric's tattoo on his shoulder and asked him some odd questions that Sternberg asks. And so he came up to me, asked if he was looking for technicians. Like, I'm not really looking for a job, but if it's worth me growing and me becoming better, just let me know. I'll hire. And he come in on a Saturday to do an interview, which I would have never done for anybody else. I don't come in on my days off if I don't have to. And I met him here in the office, and he was in this lowered, all blacked out Tahoe. I thought he was getting a warrant or something when we walked through the door. And he come in, had a great interview. And then it took way too long for us to make a decision. And that's a failure on our part, but at the same time, we were nowhere as busy as we are now. And Eric is the best hire. He's one of those guys that you can't afford not to have. And so he would come in once a week on his day off, which proves himself anyways. And he would work and help us out, learn the process. So when he officially started, it was the easiest transition of any employee or team member, rather, that we've ever had. He literally just signed up, joined the team, got to work, and he's a super high turner. Everybody loves him. He does such a good job every single day. Even though he shows up at 8:30 every other day, he comes in and absolutely kills it.
He's staying hours before he worked here.
Yeah, he's staying late right now during this podcast back there turning hours. I mean, what better can you ask for? So that's all how we met. We're looking to grow this team, get some more cool stories. I'm just, as the leader here, I'm beyond blessed to have the team that I have. They make each and every day easier, makes it enjoyable to come into work, even when we're slow like we were last week. Watching the guys stick with it and grow and become better is awesome. Teaching each other, laughing every day. Like, this is not a team where we're mad at each other every day or we hate coming into work. Like, this is a team, from my point of view, that loves to spend time with one another. It's a brotherhood. Even though it's a young brotherhood, it's still an Auto Excel brotherhood. Like, we each have our own unique relationships, but all together, everybody enjoys having everybody.
I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but you hit the nail on the head. That's exactly how I feel. It's really cool.
Next kind of topic I want to go through is like today's day. Like, today was such a contrast of what happened last week and then what's turned into today. Like, give me your all's perspective of what you all seen we did differently, what we didn't change, and what you kind of seen in the outside of Auto Excel perspective. Why do you think today was such a different contrast from what all of last week was? Kevin, start us off.
I think part of it is I don't know the car count for sure, but it just felt like we had more cars come in today than usual.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard for me to tell from the back perspective, like, what we do differently up here to, like, change the outcome of stuff like that. I feel like I didn't really do anything differently other than just doing more cars. So I'm not 100% sure on the changes that were made up front, but as far as, like, in the back goes, we were just trying to keep things moving smoothly throughout. That's all I could really think of, like, what we did differently.
I think really, like, the biggest difference in today was momentum. Like, we had, like, a slow start to last week, but we got back into some advertising. We were making calls. We were talking with people. And, like, slowly throughout the week, it was getting busier. More phone calls, more leads. maybe not more work sold or more cars through the door, but definitely picking up momentum. And then I think going through the weekend and having a Monday, like all the phones they're hot. It was everything I could do to get something done before the phone was ringing. I think our Google ads are hammering it in that aspect, especially with a few days of traffic and statistics. And then coming into today, I think we were really up there on the recommendations. We had a lot of things even carry over from Friday, I feel like. Scheduled appointments, phone calls we made on Friday that just got connected today where people finally made it through the door. We had tons of cars. Like, I couldn't keep up building estimates, checking people in, staying on the phones, working out little minor details for certain customers, which is something you're going to have. And I think that was probably the biggest part, is just car count and what you're cooking up for tomorrow. Because, like, I'm sure Friday you guys were on the phone some. Thursday seemed
all day.
Yeah.
Friday was, of course, when you're down a key member, it's always going to be a busier day. So Kirby may have not felt it, but I definitely felt it. Like, it was,
right.
It was a lot busy because it was just such a drastic. Like, we went from nothing to a bunch.
Yeah, and it really makes you think, because Kirby is super good. He's learning a lot quickly. It's hard not to just say, go build this estimate or go do this, because that'd be so nice. And jumping into another thing, he is helping out in those areas, but
it's training. He's a week and a day. Like, he's already done so well at it. It's just, it's not an immediate transition. He didn't come from this industry, so that's the only struggle, but it's not really struggle. Like,
right.
That's for lack of better terms.
Yeah, and flow of things too. I think, like, on slow days, it's really easy to slow yourself down. Like, finish an inspection, send it right to them, wait 5 minutes, call them, or as soon as they view it, call them. It's easier to keep up on those things as compared to as a day like today. You really see, like, okay, this is taking me a lot of time. I need to smooth out how I'm doing this, get this process dialed in, because ultimately the goal is to be 100% busy all day long and be able to do more cars. So, how can we flow more cars efficiently through the shop is, like, where days like today, like, I really try to keep an eye on what's moving quickly, what's moving slowly, what are we waiting on, things like that, because this is next year's baseline, so we really need to finite the details and get the flow correct, because this is the new normal.
Oh yeah, it's got to be the new normal. Just like Wes was saying, like, this is the floor. Like, we've got such a high ceiling that now that we're doing what we're doing cannot get any worse. Like Wes was saying, the floor is what we're doing now. Like, we have such a high ceiling. We got to grow in so many ways that it takes training and it takes rapid growth, really. Like, we've got a team that can grow so quickly, but we need to continue to grow in the right direction too. And kind of to go off of, like, what I noticed from last week and to today, I seen more intentionality. I seen, which I had to make that shift myself. Like, I was thinking this week, I'm like, I just didn't feel like we was that intentional last week. I just kind of felt like we started off the week with 2 really big tickets, and then at the end of the week we kind of just let it flow the rest of the week, and that just was from my perspective. So when I came in here today during our inspections, I was saying more intense words like, we can do it today, we need to get this done as soon as possible, like trying to put some more emphasis on stuff. I noticed Matthew grew a lot in trying different things. He even tried a couple sales today. Now, I told him don't get ahead of yourself, but he tried it, and they ended up working out, really, in their own oddity way, I guess. I noticed Wes had a little bit more time to focus in on some sales because I was doing every one of the inspections today, which I like to see. I don't mind doing inspections if that means these guys are up here killing it. I don't want to be up here sitting on my chair either. So these guys are absolutely killing it, and I love to see that. The interactions with customers when I walked up front, watching just at I like having the POV of the whole shop and get to see from a bird's eye view of what's going on and watching the interactions when customers walk through the door of Wes and Matthew. It wasn't, I'll be with you in a second. It was like, you're the most important person to me right now. And that was awesome to see. So that's what I noticed from last week to this week. I seen more intentionality. I seen more care. And I think up front we did an incredible job. Kevin was running all day, like without a doubt, was doing inspections left and right. Really didn't have time to have much of a conversation because we were just that busy. One thing that we did a little differently than we normally do is we were having the technicians perform the diagnostic, take a little bit more time on the diagnostic, so we're getting the correct answer, which the customer kind of, from my perspective, looked a little bit more comfortable doing. Now, we can't do that all the time because of the workflow, but today's workflow would fit. So I've seen more cars which more focus on the Google ads, which Matthew and Wes found out and solved, and it's good, and we need to continue to grow that. See more intentionality from the two up front on the in customer conversations, which is something Wes absolutely excels at. I've seen more intentionality. The technicians wanting to get stuff done, trying to solve problems. Like, it was just more intentional. So that's the kind of differentiation between last week and today that I noticed. And today was such a better day. Now, there were some things we need to kind of kink out to make it a smooth road, but I truly enjoyed today. Like, I'm enjoying watching this team do their thing.
I'm excited for February and expanding a little bit and seeing where that takes us for sure, because I think more space means more cars, means more work for all of us, means a little bit easier of like maneuvering things around.
For sure.
So I think that'll be really cool.
So in January, we have to find another inspection guy and another guy up front. I think we've got another guy up front, but another inspection guy is definitely needed. So when the transition time comes, because Kevin's really next in line to transition into that role because he's already done it, of a guy filling in that spot who's an A player wanting to get it done, and then another guy up front that's willing to bring in more cars. Because Matthew's going to be trained up by January. You're never done being trained, but he's going to be trained up enough where he can run his own tickets, essentially. So we need somebody else that I can train up that can fill in for Wes's spot when Wes isn't available to make the call, and have that front completely filled. We're adding another technician. We're adding another inspection guy. So I think January is when we need to add, if not already, but January is like the definite, like,
yeah.
Do you have any input on that?
I think we probably need more guys. More than that, I think like transition Kevin either to like a shop lead or manager position or tech, and then like at least four inspection guys, depending on the car count. You know, one scribe, 3 other guys or whatever, or one scribe and 2 other guys, like assigned specifically, not you jumping back there. Which if like that would be you, it can be you, but like somebody specifically there, 3 people there, and then 1 or 2 more guys, because I think the workflow is going to be there, and unfortunately, like, people, and efficiency, and like getting the process down and doing that is definitely going to be big, but I think much more efficiency on the inspection rack and up here will definitely spike our numbers.
I agree. I think the efficiency that's slowing us down is still up front, and it's not anybody's lacking at their job. It's just the amount of stuff that continues to grow up front so rapidly that I'm not downplaying the technicians' busyness. Like, they have to stay busy, and it's our job to make them busy, but the front is going to get overwhelmed significantly faster than the rear is. And it used to be vice versa since we changed the process.
Like, we're focusing so much more on the customer's experience. And that's, like, such a big part on this. It's like, sell the customer and then you can sell the car.
Yeah.
You know, and that
Care about them first.
Right, and it takes a lot of people because you have to be able to take time out of your day to have personal relationships with them, know what's going on with their car, and there's a lot of moving parts, especially when we're down a guy like today and Cole's constantly on the inspection rack. Like, we need 3 guys constantly up here and 3 guys constantly back there to be, I think, efficient. But, we're going to keep doing the numbers. We're going to keep doing it. And eventually, if we can do it relatively well now, imagine 2 weeks from now when we're really hammering.
Yeah, agreed.
We're just constantly growing.
Because the end goal is to have a team for each responsibility. So you've got a technician team, you've got an inspection team, you've got a sales team, and you've got a parts team. And if you want to have a receptionist or 2, I'm not a big fan of that myself, but the goal is to have them each separated out. A greeter like at Walmart, somebody walks in, you greet them at the door. That's definitely the end goal for sure. Because it's going to get, if we continue to grow as fast as we're growing, it's going to get too overwhelming that we're not going to get the right service that we need to give to the customers because we can't physically. You don't have the ability you can't do 2 things at once. Multitasking is a myth. It's half-assing 2 things at once is what it is. So you have to be able to delegate and elevate others, and that comes with a team. And Matthew, once we get him trained up, it's going to be a smooth transition for him. Right now, it's just the slowing down of the training aspect, and then when we add another inspection guy, it's going to be the same thing because they're not going to be this insane high-quality technician like Kevin is, but not everybody's going to be that way rolling into the inspection side. So we had to have enough people to train though. So if I'm busy doing inspections, I can't train Matthew, and if I'm busy doing inspections, Wes is making sales all day, or vice versa, and neither one of us can train, and then we're not doing a service to either team. No team's getting good service at that point.
Problem, More people is never bad.
No.
Unless they're negative.
More of the right people is never bad.
Yeah, now we're on it.
Yeah, more people can be a bad thing for
Definitely, for sure.
Which just goes back to Kevin's thing about team interviews. If somebody comes in, they meet with the entire team. There's one final decision, yes, made by one final guy, but everybody's input is added into that to make that final decision. So if it's half of the team's a question mark and half the team's a check mark, it's not a good hire because then half the team's not going to want to be with that. And if it's one person who's got a question mark, well, let's find out what the solution to make it a check. And that's the differentiation. But yes, we need people for sure.
Yeah, from my experience with the team interview thing, for the most part, we're all so on the same page that it's usually a check from all of us or not a check.
Right.
I don't think I've seen a time where someone's been like, yeah, and everyone else has been like, no, or vice versa.
Yeah.
We all kind of have that same mentality.
I think that first team interview we had for up front kind of was. It was like we were all checks on him, and then at the end, the way that it was, I don't know if it was the way he handled himself or the way the team could kind of see it in the future a little bit, but it was more of like he didn't have he was the one that kept saying he didn't want to work over 40 hours a week.
Yeah, which we all do at least 50.
Yeah.
For
so
the
he
most
was
part.
like,
so it's like
open hours is like 50 hours a week.
Yeah, so it's like that makes it really tough.
Yeah, and that was the only time that I seen everybody start off with a check because he had the sales side of it, and then it ended up like, nah, that's a big question.
Yeah, he came from the parts or automotive industry, kind of had that
he was the dispatcher,
dealership tone to him, just
he was very monotone for sure.
Just gray on the inside, you know.
And that's not a slight of the guy. He's just not the fit that we were looking for at the time. Like him personally, when me and him had our one-on-one interview, I liked him, or I wouldn't have had him do a team interview. But the way that the questions were answered in the team interview was different from the way that the questions were answered directly with me. And that's why we do the team interview, because everybody can BS answers to the boss man.
Yeah.
It struggles when you got 7 guys like Kevin had staring down your face and saying, "Hey, what's this?"
Questions, and you got to keep your stuff.
And then it's your responsibility also as the future team member to ask questions.
Yeah.
So you have to be truthful and honest at that point.
Yeah, and I don't think it's a bad thing for him, because if he did start working here and he really didn't want to work more than 40 hours, like, that's a bad fit for him. So, like,
yeah,
if you don't want to be here, like,
because we're looking for people who are bought in.
Yeah.
Like, people who want to get it done. So yeah, I'm definitely excited for the growth. I really enjoyed seeing everybody's change in attitudes today. This morning, I would say, started off a little bit on a weird spot. That's what I was telling my wife on my lunch break. Like, not everybody was like, us 3 in this room were in great moods. Everybody else, I'd say, were not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to pick on Matthew, but when he came in late, he was like in a different world.
Dude, he looked like he had an attitude this morning. Love the guy, and he didn't the rest of the day. Man, I said something to him today, and yeah, he looked like he had a little bit of an attitude. And then Brian came in, and he usually says good morning and didn't. John kind of had his head down a little bit. Eric came in a different tone. Like, us 3 in here, I was like, oh man, we're gonna have a good day. And the rest of the team is a little odd.
I was giving Brian some smack earlier because, like, first thing in the morning at like 8 o'clock, he came up to me. He was like, "Hey, you didn't plug this in," and I was like, "Man, it's Monday at 8 o'clock. You can't even give me till 10." Like, I still got that Monday fog going on, man. So I was like, I get what you're saying though. It seemed like everyone else was a little tense. I don't know if it was just because, like, it's a busy week coming up. Yeah.
And I praised the technicians in my text on Friday of, like, thanking them for having such a, like, fighting through the struggles of last week, because they really did. And I don't know if that was something to do with it. Like, when they got here this morning, it was just kind of like, man, we're just not that busy, and they just kind of down in the dumps. We didn't have a lot for them, and it turned into we got quite a bit for them. So I don't know if it was something to do with that. But yeah, it was a little odd this morning, but the rest of the day ended up being like one of our best days we've had like this whole month, I'd say. So the next kind of one I wanted to get into, and Wes mentioned it with leadership with Kevin. I wanted to mention it with Wes because he's second in command essentially, and Kirby brought it up to me of like each different section of the company, each different position. His question was, whose ownership is it for this problem? So we had a car come in today. I mentioned something to him about, hey, we missed this. And he's like, well, whose responsibility is that? Who takes ownership in that portion of this job? And I'm like, everybody. Everybody takes ownership on this car. It's our number 3 core value. It's a caring leader. You have to care your leadership, your ownership of that car. So when the car come in, didn't have check-in photos, didn't have mileage. I noticed it a couple times today. We're super busy. I'm in the back all day. I can't correct it when that's first happening. But I mentioned to him, like, hey, I noticed a few things today that we need to kind of sharpen our swords on. They're not big things, but if we don't do it now, when summer hits and we're twice as busy, we're definitely not going to do it. So we have to get on contact. And he's like, well, whose responsibility is it? I'm like, yours. Mine. Wes's. Kevin's. Everybody's responsibility is everybody's responsibility. So it's my job as the leader to make sure it's corrected. It's Wes's job when he checks in the vehicle that he gets the mileage. It's your job where you're learning to, if he doesn't because he's super busy, to be like, hey, I noticed we missed this, let me go ahead and add it. And then mention it to whoever. It's Kevin's job when he gets the oil change sticker and doesn't see mileage to be like, hey, don't forget about the mileage on that. I didn't catch that. So everybody has their responsibility in their position from my point of view, because this is a team-based, oriented company who always asks everybody's opinion on every final decision we make. So what's from Wes's perspective of today, from Kevin's perspective of today, what's your input on that, I guess? Does everybody have responsibility for everything, or should it be one person's responsibility for each thing on each ticket?
So I have a quick comparison to make here. That's the exact same thing that I've been thinking about quite a lot here. because I agree with you in the sense that to give the customer the experience they deserve, everybody's liable. But when it comes to hitting the mark on those certain things, where does the split begin? And the comparison I was going to make is like, say like a job for a service advisor. Where does, like with all the different responsibilities involved with like checking the car in,
Mm-hmm.
building the ticket, like inspecting the car, and then I don't know, like getting like selling it, I guess. I'm not sure where like the different categories would be exactly, but where, like, do you split that up, or is that something that like one service advisor takes one car and does everything for that job, or is there a split somewhere where someone takes care of this amount of it, someone takes care of this amount of it, and then maybe it's circled back to this person? But that kind of rang a similar bell there, because I feel like it could go both ways.
Yeah. From my perspective of how I think it should be done, and this is always to change, this is not final decision, right? So from my perspective of how it should be done is whoever brought that vehicle in, it is not your ticket, it is not your inspection, it's not my customer, it is Auto Excel's, it's the team's, it's for us. But if you brought that customer in, so Wes answered the phone, it got towed in, it's Wes's ticket at that point. His is the name that gets up top. Mine is the name that gets up top. Matthew's is the name that gets up top. The Rack Attack team is whose name gets automatically put on it, depending on the situation. Whoever brought that ticket in is the main lead on that ticket. So the final decisions that gets performed on that ticket is the responsibility of whose name's at the very top. So I'll use the Mercedes that Eric is staying late on. That you brought him in, you greeted him at the door, Wes. He loved you. You all talked about the haircut, all the things. You built the rapport. So you're the leader of that ticket. Nothing gets done unless Wes knows about it on that ticket. However, if Matthew's the one checking in the car, so he takes the photos, it's still yours. So it's your responsibility to make sure that what he's doing is correct. So he's checking in the photos, and vice versa. If you checked in one of his that he built the rapport on, his is the final say-so, essentially, of that. But how that one worked out is you brought it in, you checked it in. Matthew pulled it around, gave it to us to inspect, or he already pulled it back around, right? He already had it parked in the back. Matthew came back and told us, which I'm sure you were like, hey, you let them guys know this one's here. And then I got on the inspection with Kevin. We knocked out the inspection. I built the ticket, or you finished building the ticket after I sent you over all the stuff while you were on lunch. And you sold the main job. That you are responsible for that ticket. If your name's at the very top, it's Wesley's ticket, it's Cole's ticket, it's Matthew's ticket. So even though you may not be the sole hand that does everything on it, the final decision making has to go through you. So if something's built on the inspection, it does not get presented unless Wesley has gone through that inspection and knows what he's presenting. So
That's interesting.
So like the axles, like I'll build the axles, but I need you to triple check me before I send it. Because if I send something that's wrong and like we missed the alignment on it, it's leadership in the household. So if I make a final decision for my family and it fails, I fall on the sword as the man of the family. So if you're the leadership on that specific ticket and it fails, you're the one to blame. So it has to be your final responsibility to triple check that ticket. And if I make the sale on number 2, ISO 2, ISO 3, and I talk to the customer, it still stays with you. But I'm going to let you know, hey, I sold this on this ticket. He wanted to proceed with this. if you want me to proceed with ordering parts or whatever the next steps is, you let me know. But if it's under that person's name, they're the sole lead of that ticket, but that doesn't mean that it's their sole responsibility to do every step of the way. If that makes sense. Does that make sense from a technician's perspective?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I would more so, like, whoever the customer, like you said, had the better relationship with. So, like, if Wes made a great relationship with the dude, like the Mercedes, talked about getting his hair cut, stuff like that. Like, that guy's experience with Auto Excel is Wes.
Yeah.
So I think that, like, that's Wes's car, even if someone checks it in. And I think if you guys help each other check things in, help each other build inspections like that, and just stick with that core principle, I think that could work pretty well for you guys. Because if you go the opposite route where it's like split up, everybody does their own thing, it might be a little easier for the main advisor to know exactly what's going on all the time. But there's going to be a time when you're on the phone with a customer and then the guy that you just got off the phone with walks in, and you don't want to be like, oh, hey, Kirby, don't talk to him because that's my customer.
Yeah.
So I feel like the way you guys have it set up is really good. I think it would just have to, like, the split would depend on just who is the prominent face of Auto Excel for that customer.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think there's an interesting split there because it goes both ways. But then again, like, at what, I don't know. You start thinking about these things and it's like, well, what's scalable? What's the most important right now? Yeah, like, I definitely agree, like, the face is huge. Like, whoever, even if it's like the phone conversation, because sometimes that stands out to a customer more than the face-to-face.
For sure.
Sometimes the face-to-face is just a, hey, here's the key. I spoke with Cole for an hour and a half earlier about my car, and he knows everything there is. I just want to give you the key.
Yeah.
Boom. They still trust him, even though they've seen my face. And then again, it falls into, like, why we're such a good team is because even if Cole talks to somebody, they still come in and they still see a friendly face that matches what they expected.
Yeah, for sure.
Expectation gap is less. But, like, you can think about it both ways, and I was thinking about this because I am, like, imagine just a little bit differently, like, there's only, like, if there was only one team communicating with the customer, that would be the only part of it that mattered. Different as to if it's my job, the whole RO is my responsibility. If each part of the RO is someone's responsibility, and I'm just taking care of the customer, if that makes sense. This is just a different way of thinking about it. If I'm trying to put words that are,
You're good. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
I'm alluding to
Yeah.
the point you're trying to make, but I'll let
Yeah.
you finish just to make sure I'm not assuming anything for sure.
No, I think that pretty much wraps it up. Like,
Yeah.
not necessarily that it's my responsibility to
Yeah.
make sure everything on the ticket's good, but it's someone's responsibility that that ticket is good, and I have all the information ready to communicate with the customer.
But
somewhat.
I still think the person that is in the advisor slot still has to have that responsibility. So even if a ticket building team, like a parts team, built the ticket, you still have to understand, like, what you're selling. So you're not, because they're not going to be perfect.
Yes.
I've built 1,000 tickets. I'm not going to be perfect. Eric, Brian, John, Mike, Kevin, Jesse, they've built 1,000 tickets, and they ain't going to be perfect. So you always got to double check everything. So the first point of contact needs to be the final point of contact. So even if you had a separate team doing this, and this, like, I think you still should, as a caring leader, you still should triple check your job before it's sold.
So I guess I'm kind of confused here. Are you, like, saying that there should be different people to, like, build the ticket? Like, are you basically saying that we should have a guy on the Rack Attack team who's, like, doing the videos and building the ticket, and you're more so just dealing with the customer? Is that what you're alluding to?
That's kind of the goal we're trying to get to, I think. Like, you have to have to do it efficiently in the growth that we're trying to get to, you have to have a team for this, team for this, team for this. Yes.
Yeah, and I don't know how many teams there would be. Like, there's so many different options. Like, the
4 at most, I think.
Yeah, like, you have just technicians. Like, that is just one thing. Like, that is
That's your money making team.
Yeah, that's the bread right there. Like, they are turning hours, and that's it. We basically need to do everything else. So we need to be able to proficiently rack attack a car and put together an inspection, send it to the customer, be able to explain what's going on with it, present the estimate, and then do all the things that are sales related. So does it, where does the divide start?
Yeah, I was going to say one of my favorite things is how you guys are so involved in the inspection process, because I feel like that makes it a little easier for you guys to sell. Because it's like, Wes, you saw exactly what was happening. I didn't just tell you their valve cover was leaking. Like, oh, is it a drip? Is it a pour? Like, hey, this valve cover's really bad. Or, hey, you could wait till next time. Like,
right. You are spot on. And that is, like, my biggest conflict, is because it's so nice being able to be a part of everything with that car because you know so much about it. But at the same time, if we think about like the scalability of it, the more divides you have, like if you think about like a big corporation, like you have one person doing one job very well, they just connect the pieces of that part, which makes one product almost. But where we're in such like a personalized relationship thing, and I do want to see underneath the car. I do want to be there and like inspect it, because then you know a little bit more about it. Like I like watching all the videos.
Yeah, I do
because it's
too.
huge. But for scalability purposes, it's almost like we need to be able to rely on the inspection, the RO. We need to have a place that is absolutely updated. So in a few years, I don't need to manage all my ROs. I know that the information's there. I just need to go to the ticket, find the information. I don't have to check with Brian and have him explain it to me. Like, and I don't have to be there necessarily, but it is so nice. And it's so nice to be able to say, hey, I was there when we inspected it, and dealing with the same customer over and over. But if you think about it, like when we have that many people, are we going to have enough time to be able to be doing our job and then be like, oh, well, I talked to her last time, let me go see what she needs, or something like that. Like, hey, I saw your car was back in here. We spoke last time. Do you remember me? Yeah, I remember you.
Yeah, I agree. I think like it feels good to be, when it's done right. I'll put that caveat on there. It feels great. Like from the time I checked that vehicle in, doing the inspection, the time they left, I feel great. But when you do it all day, and then you don't get the results you're looking forward to, it brings it down to like, oh my gosh, I need somebody to replace this spot.
Yep. And then, like, that is another thing, is like, it's so nice, and I feel like we make better sales when we do everything, but then we need someone to be able to give those ROs up to where we can manage enough, because we just have so many right now that two people can't manage every single one. It's impossible.
Yeah, it is. Like, I think I still am at the mindset of like, whoever was the first point of contact needs to be the last point of contact, and you need to double, because it doesn't take really that long to double check. If somebody was building the ticket versus your own, you have to double check it to make sure you're doing the right thing, because that's the right thing to do. Right. You don't want to cost yourself money, you don't want to overcharge the customer, or you don't want to cut them short. Right. So it has to be the ethical thing to do. You have to double check your work before you present it. However, you have to, if we're going to separate the responsibilities out, because the technician has the responsibility of diagnostic and repairs. That's their job. Where the advisor has to be, part of the inspection team has to build the ticket, has to sell the ticket, has to greet the customer, has to be the receptionist. Like there's 4 responsibilities in one as an advisor, and I'm not saying it's hard. I personally enjoy it, but it is a lot. So when the time comes to grow, you have to separate them out, and it has to be, you all have to be essentially one mind. Like you can't be, this person says this because I say it's this. Like it has to be like, you better explain it or it's not going to the customer.
For sure.
Like it has to be clear and concise at each point. And if it needs to be when Kirby gets trained and I'm doing the inspections and they hear the voice of the not to say I am what I am, but like if they hear the voice of the face they see in the intro video selling them on the inspection, and then they have a secondary voice confirming it, that's also, and I'll be happy to be the second step of like building the ticket, building the inspections. But we have to have somebody up there to sell too.
Yeah, I think the divide that just came to mind for me is like customer communication, like answering the phones at the front desk and selling, but nothing else. Like you communicate with the customer, you go over the ticket, go over the inspection.
To grow, yes.
Yeah, you go over the inspection, you do all those things, and you sell it, I think would be top notch.
That's kind of why I've been a little hesitant to show Matthew inspections. I want to show him how to do inspections so that way he knows and he understands what the process is. But I've been a little hesitant on having him do inspections because he is so good at sales that it would be doing him a disservice to have him do inspections. Because he's so good at answering the phones, getting people to smile, getting people to say yes, that I can do inspections all day. You can do inspections all day. Like, we're that good at inspections, and we have such a good inspection team that helps us find things when we miss them and points things out before we even get up there. So the next people we hire don't really need to be inspectors. They need to be sales or advisors. Not even sales, just advisors. So, yeah, I agree with what you're saying for sure.
Yeah. And I think that'd be huge, even like if there was a dedicated full-time inspection guy and another dedicated, because like imagine if you didn't have to worry about inspecting the car.
I know.
Like you could go back there and look at it, every single one. You could go back, flash your light on, and be like, oh crap, or I don't want to say they're bad, and then you're done. And then they do the videos, they do all the things, and all you do is sell it. Like, that seems huge.
I agree. Like, I think that, and if that's the step that I need to make, if that's the step Wes needs to make, whoever needs to take that step, I think needs to take that step. We just got to fill in the spots up front and train the team. Yeah, I'd love to get Jesse to be our Eddie Bravo, for sure. But just because he's so personable. But like today, I thought really worked. It's just in its own way. Like, we need trained salespeople essentially to do the sales side, and Matthew's in his first week and a day, and it's hard for me to be back there doing the inspection because I also have a fault of my own of like wanting to still control the whole situation and not even realize I'm doing it. Like, I just want to do all of it and present it because I know me, and it's hard to let go sometimes. Be like, Wes, I need you to confirm this sale for this Mini Cooper customer who's been waiting all day, and I know he's going to buy, and I need you to do it. It's hard for me to sometimes be like, okay, Wes got it. But if there's anybody I trust, it's him. But we need somebody definitely that can just easily jump into that spot of just answering the phone and selling the car. And somebody, like Wes said, be the inspection guy and all day back there. And then, like, today I really liked it, doing the inspections and then coming up here, and we had customers waiting in here. And I could, as soon as we had a break while he's on test drive, I can come up here and I'm selling still. Like, I'm not just having a conversation. Like, it's still like the expedition guy. I was like, oh, do you like your expedition? Like, how can I help you on that? Like, that is what I think my 20 is of like because it's still a sales position being an inspector. Like, my 20 is doing that and then being a personable guy up here. Like, I don't really even have to give you numbers. Like, sales with numbers is not my cup of tea. Like, I can do numbers all day, but I hate being like, it's total investment is this. It's more like, let me be your friend, and then let's hand it off to those guys. They'll have the pricing up front for you. Let me help you out. That is my 20.
Yeah, that most recent
epiphany.
Podcast. Yeah, that most recent podcast that I listened to, they were literally talking about it. It's like the person who presents the repairs isn't even selling it. You're just the one who's dealing the numbers. The guy who greeted him at the door, the guy that drove him home, the guy that answered the phone and said absolutely.
What did they say?
Is the guy that sells it.
What did they say Eddie Bravo did? Like $2.4 million himself, and he didn't even give a price. He walked in the door and greeted them. They said they did the numbers of all the customers he greeted at the front door. what all in sales they did. It's like $2.4 million. And all he did was answer the phone and check the car in.
Yeah, because he is so good at breaking down the barrier.
Yeah.
Like, connecting with that person. They trust him immediately, and it doesn't matter who works on the car or who presents the numbers. Eddie Bravo trusts him, and she trusts him.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it must be good enough.
Yeah, and you look at like when Dad even comes in on how much stuff gets like solidified like that. Like me and Matthew were having the conversation of like when Dad comes in, people know him because he's been here 15 years and he owns the company. If he walks in and says something to you, people pay a little bit more attention than they do the 20-year-old sitting up front. So like if I could be that guy, or whoever needs to be that guy, like could literally walk around and just solidify something that the guys had already mentioned, then sales is that easy. Like then all they really have to do is give a total investment. They don't have to sell.
Yeah.
It's already inspection. You already mentioned it. It's confirmed by the big guy, and then you just give a number. And then that's like the key of it. Like I could sit in here and be like those cop shows and pretend to be a customer and just start talking to them. You know, I would love to do little things like that.
Yeah, and honestly, man, that's what it is. It's like you got to build that connection with the customer quickly, because the next time you talk to them, you're going to be telling them their car's broke.
Yeah.
And to fix it is $4,000 or whatever.
Yeah. 100%, and it's never fun. That's my least favorite part about the conversation is the total investment part. Like, I can't tell you how many sales go so much easier when I don't give a price. Like, I'm just like, oh yeah, we'll go ahead and get started today for you.
Oh yeah.
And I don't give a price. Yeah. The Audi.
No.
Which one was it?
Oh yeah, the Audi.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Joneses.
Talk to him immediately. She answers the phone. You guys are amazing. I love your inspection. It totally made sense. Go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
I got off the phone with her and I was like, oh.
And you give her the price.
And
but that's a perfect, the Joneses, they're a perfect example of a double team gone right. So we'll use them as an example because I like to tell stories on customers. Like they brought in this, what was it, 2004, 2007, whatever.
It was an 08.
08. Super old, super nice white 7 Series BMW. Needed a timing chain. Due to the condition of it, we recommended an engine because it was more cost effective than doing the timing chain. Yada yada. She comes in, we give her the worst news possible right before their family vacation. Like they were leaving in like 2 days. And it took a while to evaluate it, and Wes was just, at the beginning, she loved him. He was nice, he was helpful, which they're happy people anyways, they're a happily married couple. And Wes did such a good job of introducing himself, and then he was off that day or was out somewhere, I can't remember, but they had called me and talked to me. Well, they originally thought I was you, Wes. Like they thought I was Wes. So no, this is Cole, I'm whatever here, and I'm happy to help out. Wes stepped out for the minute, and she's like, your all's videos are the best. She's like, your voice is the voice from my video. I'm like, yeah. It's like, yeah, I'm happy to help. She's like, oh, well, you know what you're talking about. She's like, that guy from earlier this morning, he was so nice, and that video's the best, and I love it. And then I was like, all right, so we're going to go ahead and do the further evaluation. Just wanted to give you an update. Wes will reach out with the findings, and Wes did, and she wasn't mad that she needed an engine. She was happy she needed an engine. Craziest thing ever. She didn't do it. She's like, I'm going to bring my Audi in. The vehicle we rarely even work on. She brings this Audi in, drops, what was it? $1,500 on an easy repair, telling Wes how much she loves us, how good the videos are, how great we are. And I'm like, man, that's just so good. You get to double team and somebody's happy. Like, it doesn't feel like I'm berating them. You need to buy this, you need to buy that. We told them multiple thousands of dollars on both their old flagship cars, and they're happy. They're leaving here happy. They're cool. They're awesome. They're going to bring in their next vehicle when they trade in the Audi. Like, they're good. And so that's what it's about. Like, Wes has the leadership of that ticket where his name's on the ticket. He is the first and final point of contact with that customer. I just had to step in and just be me, and Wes does the same thing for my customers.
I think as far as like customer relations go, you guys knock it out of the park. Like if I wasn't a mechanic and got my car worked on, like I'd want you guys to be the face of it for sure.
Appreciate it, Kevin.
With that being said, going back to the whole maybe giving people like roles of certain things, I think if we had one person doing the videos back there all day, that would help us be a lot more efficient back there.
Agreed.
And then once we get to the point where we expand, maybe we have 2 inspection racks and we could just pull 2 in, get them both set up and ready to go, and then that person's just going back and forth between those 2 cars. We could do 2 at once. So I think that's a really good way to like split that up, is if we did have someone just shooting videos. Unfortunately, I don't have the pizzazz for it. The charisma.
You do. You just.
It's hard. It's hard. Like, I'm good at talking to people, but it's hard for me to press record and like just like with the phone, because it's like
just jump into it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's like, like it's hard for me.
Alrighty then.
Because I don't have to like flip that switch during the day up here or anything like that. So sometimes it's hard for me to go from mechanic shop Kevin to somebody that you'd want to buy something from your car on. They would. I think my biggest problem with that is I over-explain things a lot.
I catch myself doing it every day.
Like, I'll be breaking down things to like engine codes and stuff like that, and I'm like, this person doesn't.
Sales guy with a technician mindset sitting to my left. Like,
it's hard.
It does. It happens. And I know people would buy from you, Kevin. Like, I won't say her name, but that blue Countryman, like, she thought you were the greatest person ever that you drove home. She, like, immediately, she's like, that person's super nice. She told her mom how nice you were. And her mom was like, whoever you had, that was awesome. Like, give 5-star with a tip. I was like, well, he works here. But, like, I know people would. You're a personable guy. But it's not, we say 20 and 80 a lot. So, like, 80, if you're 80, it means you're doing 80% of the work with 20% results. Like, it's stuff that you shouldn't be doing that you just have to do. Where a 20 is the opposite. You're doing 20% of the work and getting 80% of the results. So your 20 is not sales. Your 20 is turning wrenches, doing inspections, doing the job. Your 80 is that, so you're good at it, but it just doesn't get you, one, the satisfaction, two, the results that you need. Where ours is that.
As far as like building tickets go, like when you guys are doing that, is that like a process that's like stressful up front too? Would it be better to have the video guy do that too if we did decide to go down that route?
You'd have to.
It's not necessarily like stressful. It's just another thing.
Yeah, it's not stressful. It's nowhere near stressful as building the videos. Building the videos is my biggest stressor.
And it takes long too.
That's why it's my biggest, because I'm such like a got to get it done right now. I can't multitask on this and this and this and answer phones. Like, building the videos is when we first switched to this, Dad and Wes and Barry were mad at me almost about, like, I just don't want to freaking do that, man. Like, it's so pointless to me. Let me just put a picture on there and roll on, and it stressed me. It still does today, but I understand it more now, dude. I was hot.
Like, I'm doing pictures. Like, if you think about it, you were selling good percentage to return customers with no problem with pictures. Like, it wasn't really a problem. So, I mean, yeah.
But it changed the way that you sold. Like, I see, since we've switched to this, the way that you do your job is 1,000 times better.
It's so much easier.
Yeah.
You can literally give them every answer to every question they're going to ask.
Before they even ask. Before they even ask.
Yeah, except for the price. And then when they call in now, it's not like, what's wrong, how bad is it, this and that. They've already seen it. They know what we're recommending. They know it's bad. They know it needs fixed. All they want to know is the price. And that makes it so much easier.
It does. Yes. If we were to go that route, the guy doing the videos has to be the guy building the ticket. Or we get an inspection team and then we get a parts team, essentially. So that was
where I was going to go with this next, is because one of my biggest stresses, and I don't even really want to call it that because it's not really that, but like when I get the wrong part and then like I walk up here and you and Wes and Kirby are just going crazy. There's phones ringing nonstop, and I'm just like standing there like, hey, this isn't the right thing. So it's like, I feel like maybe that would be, do you think you could combine that into like one role, or do you think it would be better separated into two?
Eventually, the growth is it has to be separated. Because if you're doing that many inspections, eventually you're going to have to get a secondary scribe. Eventually you're going to have to get a third scribe if you wanted to go that route.
Yeah.
So the scribe is the videographer. It's the ticket builder, but if you wanted to get it to where it needs to be, there has to be a team that builds the ticket specifically.
You've got the computer back there. Like, imagine while the car's flowing through, if there was Wi-Fi at that stupid computer, like if it worked pleasantly, the guys running around doing the inspection, there's one scribe taking the videos, putting them on the inspection, putting the inspection together. So at the end of that, and there's a guy standing at the computer, and as they call things out, you're just adding it to the RO. You're building the ticket right there. And then as that car cycles through, within, because it takes right about 5 minutes to build a ticket once you have the information. So they call something out, license plate bulb lights out, instantly you're building it. You might even put it on the inspection because you probably have time while the guy's taking videos. And you could probably add the part back there too, all in the same time they do the inspection.
Yeah, I agree. If you had somebody that's there just boom, 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 that has it.
Literally
Because
10
if you
minutes.
tune into Adams Automotive and their inspection process video, they've got a guy that stands at the computer checking maintenance while they're in there building the ticket, while Glenn or Jose or any of those guys are like, hey, I found this.
Yes, and we tried it. We tried doing both, though. Taking the videos and building the ticket, and it just didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So we just switched to just doing the videos.
Yeah.
And then building the ticket. But if it was just all doing it once.
If you had the team that could do it all at once, yes.
You got it down like that too, you might only need, like, if we had 2 inspection racks, like 2 GSs, because you would have those other 2 people there at all times.
Throw tires on. Once the ticket's built, throw the tires
Yeah, once
on,
the guy's done
on,
taking the video, he can help throw the tires on real quick, get that car out. The other guy's pulling his in, getting the lift set, and then it could be a really efficient process with 2 GSs and one guy building tickets and one guy taking video.
Yeah.
So that's
I'm
just
sure
that's something I've noticed. And I do have like a little side question here because I've never like
Fire away.
answered the phones in like an automotive shop.
Far away.
Do you guys ever like pick up the phone and after like 2 minutes this person isn't the type of people that we want to bring here?
I know
Every time.
well before 2 minutes.
2 minutes, that's
About
crazy.
30, 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, it's so quick.
Is there like a number one like key term that they say that in your head immediately is just like?
I'm glad you asked that question.
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know if there's a single term, but
I'll let Wes answer, then I will answer mine.
I like to take in all factors because who knows? And a lot of times, like, you do get somebody who sounds like they maybe don't want it, but you hear bad speech, like you just hear like a lot of slang words, cuss words.
Yeah.
Those are instant,
Yeah.
100%.
It's all about, it's the same way a salesperson conducts themselves, they're good or bad. It's the same way as a customer answers the phone when you talk to them. So if a customer calls and, like Wes saying, they're automatically bad-mouthing somebody, they're automatically cussing, they're automatically saying things about their vehicle, the questions they ask,
How much is it? How much is it?
I already know that it's probably not. I've been wrong, so I'm not saying it's exact science, but a lot of times who's coming in that door, and a lot of times they'll weed themselves out. If they're not willing to work with you immediately, they're probably not somebody you want to work with.
If you answer the phone for a few days,
Day one, really, like you'd be able to pick up pretty quick.
That's what I kind of figured, because to be honest, from the technician side of it, you can usually tell just by looking at the car.
Right.
Just that.
That's not even a telltale sign on our end.
Not
like
all the time.
You can look at the car and it look like trash, but like they'll answer the phone and they'll be the most respectable person ever, or vice versa. Like that red Santa Fe we had, was it Thursday or Friday? He came like somebody I would have not thought would have been good. He didn't do any repairs with us, but at the end, it was a good conversation, and his vehicle was super clean. And talking on the phone, you wouldn't have thought it. And I've had people come in like they're Harvard professors, and then the smell of their car is rough. Like it's never an exact science, but it's more true than not, for sure.
And if you get both, like if you get to look at their car and talk to them, you're about guaranteed to know.
Yeah, that's more often the situation of like the person matches the car.
Yeah, like you call them, or you're on the phone with them, and you're like, all right, could be good, could be really bad. They come in, you see the car, you're like, yes or no.
And a lot of times, first thing I check is how far out of date are they from their oil change. Like, that's just an automatic check. Like, if I have a question, like, if they're going to be a good customer or not. If they're 3,000 miles past their oil change, probably not.
I don't know. This seems like discriminatory towards negative people, but at the same time,
it's not really.
It's not discriminatory because there's a shop out there that'll help you.
Yeah,
we're just
not what you're looking for.
Yeah, we're just
not a shop that's going to fit you. Yeah, exactly. It's not like we're not going to help you. I mean, that's our job.
Yeah,
we're required to do it. It's something we love to do.
Yeah.
But it is like we are a high quality repair facility that conducts ourselves in a high quality way, and we got to have customers that understand that also. And it's for us to be understood, not for them to understand. So we have to make that point prominent. But like I said earlier, if they're not willing to work with you, it's a pretty telltale sign that it's not going to be fun to work with them. And that's what the initial phone call is for. That used to be why we used to charge for diagnostics, because we wanted to weave it out, but then it ended up you weren't getting high quality customers. You weren't getting customers that would come back, because every time I come in, it's $196 for you to evaluate my check engine light. Like, it's always... It was always something. So the no charge is a lot better. That was another fear I had when we first switched. But the no charge is a lot better, but you also have to do a better job of kind of filtering who you want, who you don't want.
Yeah.
Maybe that's one way you could kind of like weed it out, because I don't think like asking the question is necessarily a good idea, because then that's just going to prompt people to be like, I'm in a hurry, I'm trying to get out of here.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So if you ask like, are you in a rush today? Everyone's going to tell you yes.
Yeah.
Trying
Everybody
to keep
needs their car now.
Yeah. So I feel like that could be bad, but maybe if it's like a waiter and it's an oil change and it seems like that, we bring them out and we show them the issue. And then if they're just like, oh no, then it's like, okay, let's not even go crazy in depth and do all this.
Just
because
like the Hyundai guy, we brought him out for the axles. All he wanted to do is that oil change. So so as soon as he comes up here, he loved it. He's going to come back to do it. But instead of being like, all right, and then come back up here, and then we're trying to represent it 1,000 times, and then it's parked out there for another 10 minutes. How about we just pull it around and be like, all right, got you a price on what we had talked about.
There was also these other things.
Yeah, we found these as well. Next time we get you back in, we'll reconvene or auto show callbacks. Auto show callbacks will be giving you a call tomorrow, asking you how it is. If you have any questions for them, they'll get in contact with us. Like, just alleviating that. I agree. That's a great point, Kevin. Yeah, I mean, I thought that was really good. We got about a couple more minutes to finish it out here, so we're gonna finish it the same way we did last time. What is a key takeaway from today, from each one of your all's perspective? What was the standout theme of this Monday? And then what's something we can do tomorrow to make Auto Excel, make the industry, make our customers, make ourselves 1% better? So, Wes, what's a key takeaway from you? And how can we make the industry, ourselves, customers, and Auto Excel 1% better?
Yeah, I think Monday's takeaway is growth. This is the new normal. Like, we need this to be what we're doing every day. The amount of cars we're flowing through, and like, what are the steps we need to take to, be able to perform and be able to do high quality work efficiently. I mean, that's the end goal. And then what can we do tomorrow? I think we're going to try to build the ticket while we do the inspection. A few times at least.
Yeah, get a trial run for sure.
Yeah.
Kevin?
I think my main takeaway for the day is honestly just how much we can get done, even with the team and everything that we have right now. Missing Jesse, we still had it wasn't the smoothest day, but it wasn't awful by any stretch. I had a good day, so I think that's cool. And then just as far as getting 1% better, just maybe slightly refining the way we do things a little bit, trying some different things out, maybe put some of these ideas that we talked about today in effect for a few cars, see what happens. But just, I would say, to not get better is just don't get complacent. Just always be open to changing things.
Man, Kevin's coming in with some bombs today. I love it. Yeah, so my key takeaway from today is this is our floor, and Wes said it the best. Like, what we had today, we can't get any worse than that. Like, it was such a good day. Like, we can't allow ourselves to get below that threshold. Like, that's our floor. We need to build upon it. That's the key takeaway from today. Our ceiling is literally not even there. We can see the stars through our tin roof. Like, we can just go through it and blow up the way we need to blow up. And today was our floor. That is 100% the case. And bounce off of Kevin, like, to make us, our industry, our customers, Auto Excel as a whole, 1% better is to sharpen the sword, refine what we're doing, try different things, see how they stick. Because even though we're busy, right now is our slow months. So try it now. If it works, perfect it by the summertime. So I think tomorrow we should go in it with that mindset. Let's try a couple things that we mentioned in the podcast today, get clarification, get solidity, and get started. So thank you all so much for joining in on our episode number 2 podcast with these guys. Looking forward to next week when we have Jesse back. Looking forward to what goes into the future for Auto Excel, into the next couple days, into the next couple years. Thank you all for joining us in our conversation and in our growth. Have a blessed rest of your week.
Peace.